So I'd like to show you something that I just did today that I think is really, it's like improving the quality of my life. And I think it might be able to improve your quality of life as well. It's a really simple thing. I didn't just do it today. Like it's something I've been doing this year, which is thinking of the year in quarters. So basically you've got 4 quarters, right? And we've just finished the first quarter, Q1. And what I normally do, what I typically do is that I get to the end of a year and then I kind of reflect on the year, right? I think back on all the good things, the highlights, the bad things, what I need to improve in my life and all of this stuff. And to be truly honest, I'm pretty harsh with myself. Like I tend to think a lot about all of the areas I went wrong and all of the things I need to improve on, and it's like you're focusing on the negatives, and a lot of the time the good things actually kind of go unappreciated. But I do look back on like the wins and some of the highlights, but typically I do this at the end of the year. But this year what I started doing was looking at the year in quarters, and what I did last week at the end of Q1 was that I actually like sat there and like wrote in my journal about all of the wins that I had and all of the highlights. And there was a lot. Like I was really thrilled with how Q1 went this year. And when I was looking back, it was actually more than I remembered. I was like, whoa, that cool thing happened. Whoa, that happened. Whoa, that was a big win. And anyway, what I've just been doing is I wrote down a bunch of, I wrote them all down essentially today, and I put them in this jar. And so you can kind of see, hang on, I'll just pull one out and see. And the idea is that by the end of the year, I'm going to have this full jar of like my wins and my highlights that I can kind of like, practice gratitude, like actively practice gratitude and think of all of the cool things that have happened. Okay, let me just pull this one out. What does this say? Let's see. Playing a crazy show at Inch Bar with TK. That was such an epic night. So I started playing keys for another like a band in town, like a hip hop group. And this rapper TK is honestly so awesome. He's such an epic local rapper, and it was a whole new crew for me. I got invited to play with this group on the keys, and it was perfect for my sound and style on the keys. And so I was laying down the chords, and we played our first show at this really small bar in town called Inch Bar, aptly named Inch Bar. I've played there a lot, but I've never seen it like this. It was literally full. TK has a lot of fans, and like that was just so fun. Such a highlight from Q1. But that's kind of the idea, like kind of like talking about, just reflecting on the cool moments that happened and the things that I was like, that was so fun. Yeah, let's take another one. Let's see what this is. I literally just did this like 2 hours ago. Playing the 660 show with Emily Ellis and releasing That's Nice. That was a big moment for my band, Emily Ellis. We literally opened for 660, who are like a pretty big New Zealand band, one of the biggest. And yeah, we got to open for them, which was awesome. Pretty big stage, big operation. And essentially the day before, we released our single, That's Nice, which was a really epic moment. Okay, just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna pull one more. But you get the idea, right? Like you can just like reflect on the cool moments that happened, and what it does is it allows you to focus on the good things. Because like I was saying at the start, I'm really bad for this. I tend to rip myself to shreds in my journaling sessions, and I'm like, you're not doing this right, you're doing that badly, you need to improve on that, you need to do this, because I'm well into self-improvement and I want to improve myself, and that's just how I am. I just want to I just rip myself to shreds so that I can be like, okay, I need to work on that area. Anyway, what is this one? There we go. Playing keys for TK, meeting a whole new crew, and vibing out in Brighton. So yeah, that's kind of the same one as before. The Inch Bar was an actual moment. This was like more of a highlight thing where like just getting to play keys for TK and the others in the band, it was like a whole new crew, whole new people that I met, and just the fact that I kind of reflected on this in like now, because if I waited until the end of the year, they would, by that point they'd be my friends. I mean, they already are my friends at this point. It's been like 2 months like playing music with them, but imagine by the end of the year I would just I'd forget about it, I'd forget about it, and it would just be like, oh cool, that was something that happened. But you know I remember like the first time I went out there and started jamming with these guys. It's in this beautiful beach suburb called Brighton, and this house is just like one of those super creative households where heaps of people are coming through, and like um and just playing keys and meeting these guys and then playing the show. And actually we've got another show on Saturday. I might just like film a little bit of it to chuck on this channel for fun. But yeah, that's something that I did to improve the quality of life, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So it's really simple. All you need to do is just think of the year in quarters, and then by the end of the quarter just reflect on what all of the good things that happen, the highlights and the wins. And if you want, you can chuck them in a jar, and like, yeah, and it's colorful. This is literally the physical manifestation, what I have right now in my hand to represent the highlights and the wins of Q1, and it feels cool, Anyway, that's it. Good luck. See ya.